amazing females who are working in the space, women who are creating projects, who are running projects, who are doing awesome things, and just really to give them the mic and an opportunity to talk about what they're working on. So we've got 4 really cool projects tonight. Thank you, Matt, for pulling them together. It's an amazing lineup. We're going to start off with Samira Tollo, if she is in the house. She's going to talk about elbaite.
I love being first. So I'm Samira Tollo, CTO and co-founder of elbaite. I want to start the evening with a statement. elbaite is on a mission to actively help people get into crypto and Web3 safely. What do I mean by safely? So over the past years, these recent 2 years that we've had, it's been amazing. We've had a huge uptake in the cryptocurrency industry and it's been amazing. But a lesser known fact and an unfortunate fact that we do have to talk about is some of the cybersecurity risks that we've seen. There's been huge crypto exchange hacks that have occurred. So this is just a brief snapshot of some of the hacks that have occurred. The numbers are massive. Just in 2020 alone, there was 28 successful crypto exchange hacks.
My name is Debora and this is Emma. So we both work for a company called PUML, or PUML, available on the App Store, download today. Here you go. Look at our beautiful headshots. So a bit about me, I'll start off and then Emma can talk about all of our really exciting projects. So everyone's probably got a very interesting story about how they got into Web3, and mine is probably very random. So I started off kind of as a lawyer, so I studied just on the Gold Coast, spent most days at the beach, you know how it is, and I figured out that law is just not really for me. I think we all have those little U-turns.
Hi everyone, so nice to meet you, and I'm sure we'll be able to get a couple of drinks down the bar later. I'm very much looking forward to it. So I also have a little bit of a random story about how I got into the HR space. The recruitment. Well, here you go. I've just spoiled the next 2 seconds of my story. But essentially, I moved from the recruitment to the HR to starting my own app based off a developer that I bought off Fiverr for $5,000. So that was sort of my entry into startups. Bootstrapping my way to moving into working in the tech space full time. Was tapped on the shoulder by Damien to sort of come join, and through that discovered a love of crypto and NFTs and was introduced to blockchain and blockchain technology that way.
All the old faces in the room when we used to turn up to meetups where there was nobody around except for us talking about this technology. So I'll get straight into this. So my name is Katrina. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Civic, which is a Brisbane-based blockchain technology company. We were founded in 2016. So we were very, very early, started working with Bitcoin, moved to Ethereum, and now we're very agnostic. So I'm going to basically just give you a very, very quick overview of what we actually are doing. In 2021, Civic was accepted into the World Economic Technology Pioneers Program of 2021. We're the only Australian company to be accepted into that. And we currently work with the Task Force of Nature Markets, which is a global collective on how do we actually commoditize nature's assets. And just recently we were announced as Australia's Blockchain Company of the Year. So thank you. It's always nice to be recognised by your industry peers because like everybody in this room, we work bloody hard to actually get this technology into the hands of the people that we're trying to solve problems for. So what is a water market? And I'm going to go back to the basics because a lot of people look at us and go, I don't understand what you do, Katrina. I really don't understand. Well, basically water markets are a set of rules that actually are around for farmers to trade water with each other. So when we think about agriculture and food and fibre and everything that you're wearing today and everything we eat, it comes from water.
However, in 2011, not many people heard about Bitcoin, right? And this is the story basically of Web3. It started with Bitcoin. It was the first project that we know. And I personally want to share with you my humble story, how it happened to me. So first time I've heard about Bitcoin was in 2011. So Bitcoin was around a few years already, and I never heard about Bitcoin. So I went to the share trading webinar, and I was impressed that one of the attendees was telling me something about Bitcoin, and he was asking, have you ever heard about Bitcoin? And I was like, no, what's that? Unfortunately, he didn't explain very well what it was. He said if you put like 2,000 or 1,000 US dollars in Bitcoin, you will be a millionaire in the future. And I thought like, wow, that sounds like a scam. So, and I understand in 2017 that there will be a need to do tax compliance for the people who invest in digital wealth. You still have to pay tax on your digital wealth as well. And I was like, wow, that's actually a very interesting job. So I went to my partner in the accounting firm, which is like your boss. And I was like, hey, if someone comes with Bitcoin, can I please be that accountant who will be doing that job? And he looked at me and he was just like laughing like a hell. He was just like, ha ha. He was like, yeah, you will be doing for sure. And I was like, oh my god, he doesn't believe in Bitcoin. Or he doesn't believe that people will make money or that people invest because he probably thinks it's like a bubble. And I was like, okay, time to find a new job.
Waste it. Just experiment. It may actually not be enough, especially with gas fees. So if you're getting into all the intricacies of owning that crypto and then playing with the NFT and DeFi world, it may not be enough, just be warned. But you need a bit of cash that you're willing to just go, oh, this is experiment money, just get into it. I reckon that's the best way to like burn it for a little bit.
Like learning at Meetups is really one of the places where I live personally. Starting from 2015, roughly like 16, I would go to every little meetup that I could ever find, like in Brisbane. That's what I did. And if there was any event in cryptocurrency, there was not as many as now. I used to go to the ones like Bitcoin Brisbane, run by Lucas and Catherine.
I think, in my opinion, there's a lot of resources that are out there, and my, I guess, advice towards people entering the space is not so much about finding the information, but make sure you check the information, check the source of where it's coming from, because 9.9 times out of 10, people have a reason for influencing and promoting certain products and coins and things like that. So don't always believe influencers. Look for organizations, and if you're looking for something, again, my area specifically NFTs is where I specialize in. There's a really great local company called Not Your Bro who do a really cool thing called What the NFT. So they work with Vogue and a couple of other really cool organizations. So I recommend them from actual source. So.
If you're in Brisbane, you should follow absolutely a DeFi association and all things in blockchain. This is where you live for free.
And whether you found there any barriers being a woman, or maybe it's been a positive experience. Could you tell us a little bit more about that specifically?
My answer to being a barrier is always, I have never found it to be a barrier. I've actually found a lot of opportunity with being a female and being young in the space. So I started elbaite actually when I was in my final year of university. I even cashed in on the university opportunity. I went up to them, went up to the entrepreneurship society that they had, and I said, please, can you support me in any way possible? And they connected me to a Singapore group that they were sending out, and that's how I met some of the Ethereum developer crew. So it's just, the more you ask, the more you will receive. And so that's what my experience has been really, really positive, and so I just really would encourage more seeking out. I think just vocalizing what you need and what you want, it really does go a long way.
As people may assume that, oh, okay, it's just a female, she may not know anything. But I think that once you have like an opportunity to actually express yourself or do the work and show and demonstrate, people are very responsive and actually more impressed than they would be with a normal, ordinary situation.
I think I agree in terms of one of the really great things about Web3 is we've allowed more creative applications and technology at a user level, which has encouraged, I guess, a wider scope of people and again, including women to become a part of that. Specifically, again, within the artistry space, allowing, people that would generally be more creatively inclined to now will sort of interact and, I guess, merge in the technical and financial space is really cool. And it means that we get a difference of opinion, because the same opinion is not always the right opinion.
And I think that's a very different story there. And I think Katrina probably can speak
better to it. I come from a VC side of things, but I met with a lady earlier today, and she said she's met 186 potential investors, and how difficult it was for her to raise funding for the Web3 space. So Katrina, do you want to maybe cover a little bit about what it's been like for you? You've been around, with this project for a while, and whether you are seeing sort of any positive momentum, I guess, any positive movements in the space. Be honest.
It's brutal for anyone who wants to come into this space, whether it be blockchain, fintech, work regardless, whatever startup, whether you're in health tech, whatever. It's brutal for us because a lot of the VCs are men, and it's no disrespect to the industry, but when they see women, they don't see themselves. They don't see the cool guy that's sitting on the other side of the screen that they want to be. We don't have beards, we don't have cool t-shirts, we don't have bro culture. What we're actually building is real world companies to solve real world problems that actually will affect billions of people. But the challenge is translating that into a language that they understand, that they actually have a sense of biasness, because all they're hearing is there's a female sitting in front of me, and then they want to trick you by actually going down into a technology conversation that they don't fucking understand, but we actually do. Sorry, I get told all the time we don't have enough women in technology. Bullshit. Look at us. Look at us. We're actually building technology companies. Just because we may not code, code is the last thing that you do for tech. You actually have to understand the problem you're solving to make sure you understand the problem that your customer wants you to solve. The customers just want you to be able to solve a problem that will be better than what is currently out there in the market. They don't care if you're using blockchain or a centralized database. What you have to do as a company is build something that will be sustainable for the long term.
I've been coding for a very long time, and the best coders I've ever worked with have been women, and data scientists for that matter. So I definitely do not see how creating that subset of females not in tech is real.
It's bullshit.
Women are amazing coders. I mean, I don't see any difference. Well, I do feel better.